Okay, it's already in progress.
It's in progress.
We did it. We're good. Hi, I'm Cynthia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And we are so glad you're here today or tonight or whatever the time it is where you are
in the universe.
We're so glad that you're here and that you found this. Our greatest hope is that you will find some great health practices, that you will learn some wonderful skills for what we're talking about tonight.
And what are we talking about?
Real good, feel good.
Ah, fantastic.
So next slide, and we're there.
Here we go.
I always feel so backwards when we do this.
Okay, here we go. We are ready.
Okay. So real good, feel good. Now, if you haven't learned from any of the other previous webinars on this series, we invite you to go back and look through them. This is number 6, right?
Yes.
Okay, in 10 weeks. So how many left do they have?
4 left.
4 left. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm counting right.
3 after this one.
Yeah. Okay, so we're over the halfway mark. And we hope that what you have is you're starting to understand this better and that you're experiencing kind of that real good, feel good experience. We think that's super important for you in your life. And so we've got 6 experts that are talking about these topics. And we have tonight, we have an incredible expert, and her name is Stacey Jackson. And he told me to do that in the other order. So I wanted to talk about her first, and then he's like, oh, are we doing it this way? And I said, yes. And then it's my fault. But I want to introduce her a little bit, and we're going to talk about Deep Blue. So just remember her. Now we'll go back so that I do it in his order.
That's okay. We'll do it.
Okay, there we go. So real good, feel good. Now, many of you may have experienced Deep Blue. You might have experienced the Deep Blue rub. You might have thought it was awesome. You may have even experienced in the oil. And when we do the aroma touch therapy, we do the Deep Blue in the oil. And it has a little bit of different properties than the Deep Blue others. So there are other ways you can use them. And
the cream or the,
yeah.
Right.
So, and we want to make sure that you understand there's a little bit of difference. And I don't know if Stacey's going to talk about that tonight, but I'm going to call her Nurse Stacey because she is one. And she worked really hard to become that. And she still works really hard being that. So we're really grateful that she would do that.
I am so excited for this presentation, because this is one of my favorite oils.
Really?
It really is. I've had so much relief with this.
Yeah,
it's helped me so much.
Sweet.
I love it, and I'm really excited to hear what Stacey has to say, because she always has such great insights.
Yeah, and, absolutely.
Really good things.
I come away like taking notes, copious notes. Oh, yes, that's a great idea. So this is the incredible Stacey Jackson, and she tonight is going to tell us about this oil. I told you that. But Stacey does a lot of things in her life. She has a great family. She's got some wonderful kids and a couple of sweet grands that she gets to see and be with and hug and love on. And she enjoys that. But I mean, just look at her. She's just like, just an incredible person, and you'll get to know her a little bit better. And she also has this great mind and a desire to help others with their health. But one of my favorite things about her, not that those aren't really awesome, is I kind of call her an herbal mad scientist. I always picture she's got this room, and I always picture her in the back, just like making these concoctions. I'll put a little of that in, and I'll put a little of this in, then we'll let it simmer, and then it's going to come out in this great brew, and everybody will be healthier. Now, that's probably not true, but honestly, she knows a lot about herbs as well. And that led her to really understanding essential oils. And she just has a great basis for that. And of course, I call her a premier athlete. She probably wouldn't call herself that. But to me, from my standpoint, she certainly is. But she's an excellent runner. And that's one of the things that she lives to do, is run. Besides all those other wonderful things that she does, she also runs.
Yeah.
So here we're going to get to listen to what she has to tell us tonight. And we're just so excited for you, Stacey. Thank you for presenting to us.
You're so welcome. And it's so funny you would say she's back here making her little brew. My kids are always saying, Mom, what are you concocting now? What are you? I'm putting little samples together, to give to people with doTERRA. It's kind of fun. Anyway, okay. So tonight I'm going to talk about Deep Blue. And this is an amazing essential oil blend. It's also known as the soothing blend in doTERRA's line. And it soothes and calms both the musculoskeletal and amazingly also the nervous system. It helps the body relax and release tension that's caused by inflammation and pain. So you can see why when we talk about the Aroma Touch massage technique, why Deep Blue is such an integral part and vital for this massage technique. So let me start by sharing one experience that I had with Deep Blue. And as Cynthia has introduced, one of my very favorite activities is running. And I've run about 26 marathons and so many half marathons I've lost track. But anyway, I never begin a training run or cross the starting line of a race without having a Deep Blue in my pocket. So as a distance runner, I've learned to endure discomfort and push through pain. That's just kind of what runners do. I know we're kind of crazy that way, but so many times I've had muscle tightness and muscle cramps, and even many times injuries that have been plaguing me. I'm like, I've got to run this race. And they've caused me significant pain and threatened my ability to cross that finish line or to achieve my running goals and my training goals. And so, in fact, there was one year, and it was my 20th St. George Marathon, and my entire family was at the finish line. In fact, my boys, my kids were waiting at mile 25 to help run me into the finish. And at mile 1, I felt this snap in my lower leg, and I didn't know it at the time, but I had partially torn my calf muscle. And I was in great pain and I couldn't toe off. And of course, for me, quitting was certainly not an option, knowing my family was waiting for me at the finish. And so I was determined to keep going. So for 25 miles, I either ran or walked flat-footed to the finish line because I couldn't toe off. It wasn't a pretty finish time. In fact, it was my slowest marathon ever. But there is no way that I could have even completed that race without the soothing and cooling effects of Deep Blue. So for me, this is a very important essential oil blend. Okay, so in order to understand why and how Deep Blue is so effective, I want to talk first a little bit about inflammation. And because I'm a nurse, I'd like to dive just a little bit deeper and briefly discuss the physiology behind inflammation. So hang with me, bear with me for a moment. Inflammation is the body's normal response to infection and injury. When we damage tissue, our bodies send increased blood flow and white blood cells to that area in order to help it heal. And this process can also occur within our joints, which can also result in irritation and tissue damage within those joints. So as all those extra fluids go and flow into that area that's been damaged, they press against the tissues and they compress against the nerve endings. And so this often results in redness and warmth and swelling and discomfort, pain, and sometimes even serious and severe pain. So now, some inflammation is a really good thing because it helps the body repair and heal. However, if those tissues are inflamed for a long period of time, you have chronic inflammation, then tissue damage does occur and it takes time for that to heal. So if if that inflammation causes pain and your pain is poorly managed, this can negatively impact your life in many ways. So some of these are, it can cause and result in depression and anxiety, poor sleep, an inability to carry out your daily activities, which may also result in a loss of independence. You may rely on others to help do what you need to do. It can cause you to withdraw socially, and then you might even have difficulty thinking clearly, which is an interesting one. I found one study and it said that the results showed that people with chronic backaches have brain sizes that are 11% smaller than those without chronic pain. So I found that fascinating. So according to the study, chronic pain can actually shrink the size of the brain. Who knew? So, I mean, that's a super good reason, if not the reason of dealing with your pain and the discomfort that you're experiencing to help resolve and take care of this issue. So we all know that there are plenty of medications that can be taken to alleviate sore or severe discomfort and pain. And as a nurse, I have given these medications to my patients, and I have seen firsthand how they are often accompanied with negative side effects and even addictions. So we love alternative healing methods, right? What else can we do? What can we use that is safe, effective, has no side effects, and never has a risk of addiction? One guess, you've got it, Deep Blue. So Deep Blue is an amazing blend of essential oils. It contains wintergreen, camphor, and peppermint, and these 3 oils help to provide cooling support to the tissues. It has blue tansy, blue chamomile, and ylang-ylang that provides support for inflammation. And then also the helichrysum and osmanthus, as well as the ylang-ylang, also provide support to the tissues, okay? So together, all of these oils work to help soothe inflammation, to relieve discomfort, and also to decrease soreness. And this can be very beneficial for issues such as arthritis, tendinitis, any inflammation of the bones, muscles, and joints, okay? And amazingly, what I love also is that Deep Blue is also calming to the nervous system, which is fascinating. So when you receive an aroma touch massage, Deep Blue is applied along your spine, where so many of your nerve endings are concentrated. They're all right there along your spine. And these nerve endings respond to the soothing properties of Deep Blue, and then they decrease the pain signals that are sent to your brain, which in turn then decreases the amount of pain that is perceived by the tissues in your body. It's absolutely amazing how it works. So now that we've learned a little bit about inflammation and how Deep Blue can help to calm and soothe those effects, let's talk about how we can safely use Deep Blue. For the most part, this blend is meant to be used topically on the skin. This is the Deep Blue essential oil that Cynthia was talking about earlier. And then we also have the Deep Blue rub, which is also an amazing lotion or cream. And then, but the Deep Blue polyphenol complex is one that can be used internally. And in fact, it's specifically intended for internal use to help alleviate inflammation and pain from the inside out. Okay, and then we also have this amazing Deep Blue rub, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So, all right. It is recommended to dilute with fractionated coconut oil, your Deep Blue, and then apply it directly to that location that's causing you discomfort. So, and Dr. Hill explains, who's the doctor who does a lot of the science behind the essential oils for doTERRA. He explains that the need for a carrier oil has more to do with how that oil is localized, metabolized for a localized response, rather than because it might be a little bit hot or caustic to the skin. So found that to be pretty fascinating. It helps to just localize that response and take it right into those specific tissues where you're applying it. Okay, so another great tip when using Deep Blue is a 2-step approach. So you can begin by first applying the Deep Blue essential oil. And what this will do is this will just help get those tissues to penetrate or to penetrate into the skin for quick relief. And then the second step is to apply the Deep Blue rub over the top of that. And what that does is it helps to seal in those oils for a longer lasting effect. So if you're really in need of severe pain control, that can be very beneficial for you to use both of those together. And a little bit about this Deep Blue stick, probably Cynthia has more of the details on this than I do, but it also contains copaiba, which is an amazing essential oil that helps a lot with pain. And in fact, it works on the endocannabinoid system, which some of you may be familiar with is actually what the CBD oil works on to help alleviate pain and inflammation. So, however, copaiba works directly, has a direct response with the nerve receptor sites. And so it gets directly in there and is a little more effective than the CBD oil. So it's pretty amazing. If any of you have bone pain, It may be helpful to add a little bit of frankincense essential oil or even wintergreen to the deep blue to help penetrate just even deeper for greater relief. Okay, so those are a few different ways to use this amazing oil blend. In closing, I want to share with you one more recent experience that I've had with Deep Blue. And I currently have what's called a hip impingement, which has made my running extremely painful. And unfortunately, my doctor has recommended and well, actually told me that I cannot run for 3 months in order just to let those tissues heal, completely heal. And what I've noticed is that if I forget to apply Deep Blue before going to bed, I wake up every time I roll over, every position change, rolling from side to side. And I almost have to lift that leg with me as I roll over because it can be so painful at times. And so, however, if I do use Deep Blue, it significantly improves my ability to sleep at night, to fall asleep and to stay asleep. And I've been so grateful for that. So in summary, Deep Blue is just a vital component of the Aroma Touch massage technique because of its ability to soothe and calm both the musculoskeletal system and also the nervous system. It's powerful that way. And so this in turn brings a great deal of calming to the body, both physically as well as emotionally, as the body is able to just relax and release tension that's caused by inflammation and pain. I love Deep Blue. I highly recommend it, as well as the Aroma Touch massage technique. And I hope that you receive the same soothing and healing benefits from this amazing essential oil blend as I have.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, that was
We really appreciate that. And you know, when as you were talking, I was thinking about when you're doing the Aroma Touch technique, when you're actually doing that for someone. One of the things that I love about it is that you actually do this kind of a thumb walk up the sides of the spinal column cord, and that activates those central nervous points that you were talking about. And I've had so many people fall asleep somewhere in between putting on the Aroma Touch oil and then this one, and then by the time I finish, for sure, everybody's asleep, because it's so calming to the body, and the body's just like, oh, thank you so much. I feel so much better, right? I love that. It's one of my favorite things to do when I give those Aroma Touch massage techniques.
Well, it was so interesting to learn about inflammation too. And you know, we often think that it's just all bad, but understanding the purpose of it and then how to help work with it and manage it is really enlightening. That was very, thanks for sharing that.
Yes, yeah. And ouch, I just think about you trying to sleep with that. I just hurt for you. But I'm glad that you found something that can at least get you through so that you can rest, because you have a busy life and a busy schedule.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. So everyone who's watching, we want you to know that after we finish this segment, and we will also have the opportunity to have some more discussion with Stacey. If you have any questions, we'll be talking about those after we finish here on the Facebook Live. But we want you to know what we have for this month. So we're going to move off of Stacey for just a minute. Thank you again. And we're going to go on to the next part. And that is for this month, and this month only, we have something special that we hope that you'll take advantage of. And that is an opportunity to have the real good feel good of Deep Blue in your life every day. So we have an offer for the first 5 people who enroll with 150 PV. Now, if you don't know what that means, just think of it in terms of basically $1 per product point. So that's product point, or anyway, point value. And so you'll be able to basically, what I'm trying to say is I want to help you get what you need.
Get to the bottom line.
Yeah, we're just moving to that. And that is that you will receive an Aroma Touch kit. And then we will be glad to, any of the 6 of us who are on this program, we'll be glad to walk you through how to utilize that and how to make the Aroma Touch kit be a vital part of your everyday life. and how you can receive some of the values that Stacey was talking about tonight. And then besides that, you'll also receive special membership value. Normally, that's a $35 copay, or open pay, not a copay. And it's kind of like what you would do for Costco, for instance, right? Where you have value there, or a Delta card or something else, where you're getting a value for it. But for this month only, until the end of June, if and when you enroll, if you're new to us and new to doTERRA, then you will receive that free with this 150 PV order. And then you'll get an aromatouch that has all of us in it. So, you know, you get to see us kind of
Has all the topics that we've
talking.
covered.
Yeah, exactly. Then we have the webinars. We hope you'll key in on those. And if you have one that you like in particular, we'd like to hear back from you on that. And then finally, we'd like to coach you through these things. A lot of times it can be really confusing when you start using essential oils because it's different. We're not used to taking care of our own health. We're used to turning to someone else to help us do that. And not that we don't need other experts in our life to help us, but we're here as certified health coaches and certified life coaches to help you experience that. And you will save that much. And we want you to save that much. So we're here to help you do that.
It's a real value, and it's just a great way to get started with these things that are going to help you so much with your overall health.
Yeah, we'd love to see that happen for you. Limited time, first 5 people who enroll. We talked about that already. But now the next one is if you are already enrolled to one of us and you would like to have the aromatouch certification, which is another educational cost that you can get, you'll receive these savings: aromatouch kit, aromatouch ebook, 10 webinars, and the coaching sessions. So you'll receive these from us if you live in the contiguous or even in Hawaii, United States. We'd love to see you do that. And I'm willing to open up that to Canada.
Okay.
And so we'll be glad to do that for you as well. Love to have that be a part of your life and see you receive the value of just not only feeling good, but have the really internal value of what's going to happen to you as you utilize these oils. It's a fantastic experience to see your health, see you take charge of your own health and help boost it up another level.
Absolutely. So it's a great way to get started right. And I always talk about trying to make it simple because it can be complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really kind of the roadmap to help you get started.
Exactly.
If you open up this kit and you're looking at it and wondering, okay, I heard about all the benefits, but how do I do this?
Yeah.
This is going to help you get started so fast and understand how to make the most benefit out of what you have here. You'll have the book, you'll have the webinar, the classes, and access to the experts. So
fantastic.
It's really a great value.
Yeah, it is a great value. And we'd love to have you contact us to get a copy of your ebook. You can do it this way through eodrops.com. You can go through eodrops.com again, Cynthia at, and then we have EO-Drops Tribe on Facebook and Instagram. Message us, let us know, tell us what you think, tell us what you're feeling about, as soon as you get these oils, and get them in your hands and see the changes that can happen to your health too. All right,
fantastic.
So here we go. We're this far, right? We have finished off this many, we said that, and now we're going to move to the last 2 oils we're going to have. Wild Orange, and that will be Dr. Joel, and then finally we'll finish off with
Porter.
Mr. Gill.
Yeah.
And he will tell us all about why we need peppermint in our lives. If you didn't know, you're going to find out, and you will not be disappointed.
So it's so cool that the aromatouch, as I was just looking at this again, the aromatouch technique takes us through each of these challenges that we deal with: anxiety and stress, then immunity, then inflammation. Those are the topics that we've covered so far. And then we'll start next week on the homeostasis and really bringing our bodies into balance.
Absolutely.
And our emotions. So I'm excited for that too.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be super good. So we'll see you next time, and find us on YouTube. These webinars are on YouTube as well. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Stacey. Awesome. Awesome. We're so grateful for what you did.
Thank you.
Learned a lot
Yeah,
again.
absolutely. See you next time.